Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, written by Roald Dahl and illustrated by Quentin Blake. This is a story about a boy called Charlie Bucket. There were 6 people in his family, but none of them were Charlie's brothers or sisters. So, who were they? First, Mr. and Mrs. Bucket, Charlie's mother and father. The other 4 people were Charlie's grandparents. They were so old they stayed in bed all day and never got up. But they didn't have much room because they slept in the same bed. Grandpa Joe and Grandma Josephine at one end, Grandpa George and Grandma Georgina at the other. Chapter 2. Charlie's House. Charlie's family lived in a very small house. It wasn't easy for them. They were so poor. His mother tried hard to make nice meals, but it was always cabbage or bread or potatoes or more cabbage. Charlie dreamed of eating something else. Most of all, he dreamed of chocolate. Chapter 3. The Chocolate Factory. In Charlie's town, near his house, there was a chocolate factory. It was the biggest and most famous chocolate factory in the world. All day long, he could smell the most delicious chocolate smell. If I had just one wish, Charlie thought, I would go inside that factory. The first golden ticket. One day, Grandpa Joe was reading the newspaper. Charlie, listen. 5 golden tickets, each in a bar of Wonka chocolate. Find one and visit the chocolate factory. The next day, Augustus found the first ticket. He was a greedy boy and nobody liked him. Here is Augustus with his mother. Chapter 5. The second golden ticket. The next lucky child was Veruca. Her parents bought her thousands of Wonka bars. Veruca couldn't wait to open them. She just lay on the floor, kicked her legs and shouted, "Where's my golden ticket? I want my golden ticket." When at last someone found one, she was happy. Chapter 6. Charlie's Birthday. 3 tickets left. Charlie hoped he would be lucky. Every year on his birthday, his family gave him a delicious bar of Wonka chocolate. Perhaps this year it would have a golden ticket inside. How happy Charlie would be! Did he find a golden ticket? What do you think? Poor Charlie, but someone else was much happier. It was Violet, who found the third ticket. This girl loved chewing gum. She always had some in her mouth. If anyone found a piece of gum on their clothes, she just laughed. Grandma Georgina thought she was a horrible child. The fourth golden ticket. Soon after Charlie's birthday, Grandma Josephine was reading the newspaper. Listen, a horrible boy called Mike has found a golden ticket. Mike was crazy about television. He watched it all the time. If anyone tried to talk to him, he would shout, "Go away! Can't you see I'm watching television?" Charlie finds some money. A few days later, Charlie was walking home from school. It was a very cold day. Suddenly, he saw something in the snow. It was some money. To Charlie, this meant only one thing: food. I must give it to my mom, he thought. But first, perhaps I'll... A bar of chocolate. The kind of food Charlie was thinking about was chocolate. In no time at all, he was inside a shop. After buying a bar of Wonka chocolate, he quickly pulled off the paper. What a delicious smell! Then Charlie saw something yellow under the chocolate. He couldn't believe his eyes. The fifth golden ticket. A few minutes later, Charlie arrived back home. I found it, he shouted. Found what? Asked his grandparents. A golden ticket, answered Charlie. Hooray! Shouted Grandpa Joe. Hooray! Then, forgetting where he was, he jumped high in the air. His soup went all over Grandma Josephine. The big day. At last, the day arrived. It was a lovely sunny morning. Hundreds of people were standing outside the famous factory. They were waiting to see the children who were going inside for the day. Stand back, said a policeman as a line of people walked past. Veruca came first, wearing an expensive skirt and jacket. Next came Mike, dressed like someone in a TV film. Then came Augustus and Violet. All these children had their parents with them, but not Charlie, who was last in the line. He had Grandpa Joe. Meet Mr. Willy Wonka. 10 o'clock. Time to begin. But where was Mr. Willy Wonka? Then someone shouted, "That's him!" And so it was. All eyes turned towards the funny little man with his pointed beard. "My dear children," he said, "how do you do? And these are your parents? How nice! Come in." Happy workers. What an amazing place. Inside the factory, there were beautiful green fields, trees, flowers, and a brown river. "Look near the waterfall," said Veruca. "Lots of little dolls. Are they people?" "Why, yes, they are," said Mr. Wonka. "They are Oompa Loompas, famous for working, dancing, and singing. Augustus falls in the river." While the Oompa Loompas sang, Augustus walked down to the river. It must be full of chocolate, he thought. He lay on his stomach to taste it. Delicious! "Be careful, you'll fall in," shouted Mr. Wonka. Splash! Too late. Augustus was in the river. Then suddenly he was gone. Down the chocolate river. "Augustus, where's Augustus? I'll never see him again," cried his mother. "Yes, you will," answered Mr. Wonka, "but not now." What a bad boy. It was time to sail down the chocolate river. Charlie looked around. Everything in this amazing world was made of sugar. The pink boat was sugar. The magic room. The Oompa Loompas rowed the boat down a long tunnel. They stopped opposite a door in the wall. "This is the most important room in the factory," said Mr. Wonka. "Come inside." What a place! Magic sweets of every kind, like green gobstoppers that never got any smaller in your mouth. The great gum machine. In the middle of the room was a great big metal machine. It moved up and down, making a very loud noise. Clonk, clatter, bang. Suddenly, out came something small and flat. "It's a chewing gum," Violet shouted. "That's right," said Mr. Wonka. "The most amazing gum in the world." "Goodbye, Violet. It's magic gum, you see," said Mr. Wonka. "This piece tastes of soup, meat and blueberry pie." Violet put the gum in her mouth. Delicious." "Help," cried her mother. "She's turning purple and round," said Mr. Wonka, "like a blueberry. Oompa Loompas, take her away. Get the juice out." The nut room. The next stop was the nut room, where hundreds of little animals were opening nuts. "I want a little animal," shouted Veruca, trying hard to catch one. But the animals caught her and pushed her down with the rubbish. Then down went Veronica's mother. And what happened to her father? The great glass lift. There were only 5 visitors left now. They were all feeling tired. "I want to watch television," said Mike. "Fine," said Mr. Wonka. "We'll take the lift." The machine was as fast as a rocket. It could go up and down and round corners. It was crazy. The television chocolate room. The visitors stepped out of the lift into a brilliant white room. Then they put on dark glasses. "This is where we test our television chocolate," said Mr. Wonka. "What do you mean?" asked Mike. "Well, with the TV camera, we send it to another place. It goes by television." "Mike, is that you?" It arrives much smaller. "What's this?" 6 Oompa Loompas put a big piece of chocolate under the camera. Suddenly, it was in the TV. Mike went under the camera. "He's so small," cried Mike's mom. "It's all right," said Mr. Wonka. "The Oompa Loompas will make him big again." "When next?" Then Mr. Wonka turned to Charlie and said, "My dear boy, you are the only boy left. Well done. You have won. Step into the lift and here we go." Charlie was very surprised. "What have I won?" he thought. "Where are we going?" The other children go home. This lift flew up into the sky. The people below looked very small. "Look," said Mr. Wonka. The other children, Augustus at the front, Mike at the back. "I'm going to give them sweets to take home. But for you, Charlie, something else." The lift was right above Charlie's house. "Charlie," said Mr. Wonka, "you have won my factory. It's yours." Charlie couldn't think. The lift was falling. Crash! "Help!" cried Grandma Josephine. "The end of the world." But it was just the beginning. "We are going to live in Charlie's chocolate factory," said Grandpa Joe. We'll never be hungry again.